In a desolate, fiery landscape, a wary lizard senses an approaching disturbance. A girl flees in terror, her frantic steps kicking up dust as she screams to run. Pursued by snarling desert ghost wolves, a desperate group of adventurers cries out for rescue. The three adventurers, a blonde, a bunny-eared girl, and one with glasses, flee for their lives. The leader, a mage, laments their bad luck but spots nearby trees, ordering her warrior and cleric teammates to climb them for a chance at survival. The warrior grimaces, knowing their plight is dire, as these wolves never abandon their prey. She laments their weakened state and damaged gear from a previous fight, making escape seem impossible. Ah! Disaster strikes as the pink-haired cleric stumbles and falls, left vulnerable to the beasts. Her friends scream her name, Xiaohei, as the savage wolves lunge for the fallen girl, warning her to watch out. Paralyzed with fear, Xiaohei braces for the attack, unaware of a sudden surge of green energy. Whoosh! Suddenly, a brilliant flash of light cuts through the chaos. The beam of light violently strikes the lunging wolf, saving Xiaohei in the nick of time. The wolf's body crashes to the ground, its attack completely thwarted. A cloaked stranger stands over the slain beast, his blood-soaked sword, saving Xiaohei from certain death. As the mysterious figure turns away, Xiaohei can only wonder at her sudden rescue. The rescuer reveals himself, a red-eyed rookie, much to the girl's surprise. Unfazed, the rookie calmly faces the rest of the snarling wolf pack. With a unified roar, the wolves surge forward to attack their new target. He tightens his grip on his sword, ready for the onslaught. He unleashes a powerful slash, crackling with violet energy. The pack is momentarily stunned by the unexpected show of force. In a flash of blue light, he cuts through multiple wolves with blinding speed. His blade cleaves cleanly through a wolf, a testament to his power. He becomes a whirlwind of death, dispatching the creatures with relentless attacks. The three girls stare in utter disbelief at the rookie's overwhelming strength. The battle ends, leaving him standing victorious over the slain wolves. But the relief is short-lived. Xiaohei points in renewed horror, yelling a warning. Over the rise, a massive horde of red-eyed wolves appears, drawn by the scent of blood. The rookie stares grimly at the approaching wave of monsters, an entire wolf horde. Panicked, the girls realize the blood attracted a horde large enough to destroy a village and urge him to flee before he is torn to pieces. Unconcerned, the rookie simply asks, "Really?" as a green aura envelops him, and he consults glowing cards. A system window prompts player Lin Yuan to summon skeleton warriors, and he prepares to accept. With glowing eyes and unwavering resolve, Lin Yuan confirms the summons. Whoosh. The summoning cards shoot forward, ready to unleash their power. A brilliant green light erupts as intricate magic circles form on the barren ground. From the glowing sigils, a skeletal hand emerges, heralding the arrival of his army. The summoned skeleton warrior's stats appear, revealing its formidable power. An entire legion of skeleton warriors rises from the earth, their empty sockets glowing with eerie light. A bony hand clenches, ready to lead the undead charge. The wolf horde continues its relentless charge, meeting the newly risen army head-on. Lin Yuan smirks, challenging the horde to see who will be torn apart first as his skeletons brace for impact. The battle begins as a skeleton warrior expertly intercepts a charging wolf. Lin Yuan joins the fight, his glowing blade cutting a path through the enemy ranks. He gracefully dodges and counters, moving like a seasoned veteran among the chaos. The Lord of Summoning stands ready, flanked by ethereal beasts, as a new world dawns. 15 minutes later, the battle is over, a dead wolf marking the end of the fight. Lin Yuan retrieves his sword from the final fallen wolf, the victor once again. System notifications flood his vision, rewarding him with experience and loot for slaughtering the wolves. The defeated monsters dematerialize, leaving behind their valuable drops. The adventurers stare in awe as the girl with glasses asks if she's dreaming, unable to believe he defeated 12 wolves alone. Xiaohei approaches Lin Yuan, asking if he's a mage since his summoning skill is unlike any she's ever seen. He coolly explains that his power comes from possessing SSS tier forbidden class. The story flashes back 3 months to when a mysterious company announced the revolutionary VR game, Immortal World. Inside the game, players chose classes and leveled up by fighting monsters, growing stronger with each battle. Initially dismissed as just a game, reality shifted when some players, the chosen ones, began manifesting their powers in the real world. Soon after, evil cultists emerged from the virtual world, bringing chaos and death to reality. A cloaked figure leaps through a ravaged city, dodging a monstrous attack from below. The chaos of the invasion blurs into a flurry of destruction and battle. Lin Yuan recalls the tragedy with anguish, revealing his parents were killed during that catastrophe. Humanity united to fight back, but was ultimately defeated by the cultists. And he reveals he also died in the final battle. He remembers his own death, overwhelmed by a storm of destructive red energy. He reveals he was reincarnated just an hour ago, back to his first login, but this time with a system-granted SSS tier forbidden class, Dark Summoner. Vowing to protect his world and family, Lin Yuan resolves to grow stronger faster this time. Back in the present, he places his hand upon a slain wolf, preparing to use his power. Whoosh! He draws the souls from the fallen wolves, channeling their essence into his hand. Confirming his command, the eyes of a fallen wolf flash with an eerie green light. He explains his class grants him a warrior's body and the ability to turn monster corpses into zombie minions. The newly risen Ghost Wolf zombie retains its former level and skills, its stats now displayed. He reveals his summons gain a new skill, Body of Death, making them immune to negative effects, before mentioning his second talent, Hell's Gate. A colossal gate of brilliant green energy materializes in the sky above him. He explains Hell's Gate allows him to store his reincarnated monsters, with its capacity growing alongside his level. The newly zombified wolves stand ready inside the shimmering green gate. He realizes that with enough levels, he can build an unstoppable army of the dead. The girl with glasses watches in horror, asking who he is to be able to revive the dead. Lin Yuan glances at the time, noting its arrival, as a world notification announces the descent of the giant death wolf boss. A confident smirk spreads across Lin Yuan's face as he declares it's time to kill the boss. Red lightning cracks across the sky as other adventurers watch the ominous event unfold. A sinister red energy begins to tear through the fabric of the sky. The energy coalesces into a terrifying, demonic eye, glaring down from above. Other adventurers panic and flee, screaming that the giant death wolf is here and that they must escape its massive attack range. A red blur flashes through the crowd of fleeing players, leaving devastation in its wake. Two adventurers watch in shock from behind a rock as the carnage unfolds. The massive, red-furred giant death wolf appears, devouring a helpless player. The Lord-level boss stands triumphant over its victims as its formidable stats are displayed. A title card for Lord of Summoning appears, along with production credits. Onlookers try to stop their friend from rushing to his death, while others despair that the terrifying world boss is unkillable. The blonde adventurer spots a lone figure and asks what he's trying to do. They watch as the cloaked figure walks calmly toward the monstrous wolf. It's Lin Yuan, advancing steadily toward the beast with his sword drawn. The adventurers dismiss him as a newbie, certain he stands no chance against a Lord-grade boss they couldn't even scratch. A system graphic details the monster hierarchy in Immortal's world, from normal to the god tier. The explanation concludes that even a low-level Lord-grade monster is an overwhelming threat to new players. Lin Yuan plants his feet, coming to a stop before his target. He stands alone, a tiny figure before the towering giant death wolf. As the others scream for him to run, Lin Yuan calmly sizes up the level 6 world boss. Unafraid, he stares down the snarling, monstrous wolf. Lin Yuan looks upon the beast that once spelled his doom and declares, "Looking at you now, you are nothing." Enraged, the giant death wolf bares its blood-soaked fangs. The world boss activates its skill, unleashing a deafening, powerful howl. Bracing himself, Lin Yuan slides to a stop, his sword held ready after the creature's roar. The giant death wolf lunges, activating its deadly Deathclaw skill. Unflinching, Lin Yuan meets the monster's charge with a confident smirk. He mentally assesses the boss's stats, unimpressed by its enhanced HP and attack power. The narration explains this beast is an impossible solo challenge for the low-level adventurers in this desert. He remembers his past life, where he almost died fighting this very monster with a full party. Now reincarnated and battle-hardened, he declares he is no longer the same person and charges forward. The ground shatters as the wolf's massive claws slam down where he just stood. With impossible agility, Lin Yuan dodges under the beast's attack. An onlooker gasps in disbelief, stunned by Lin Yuan's insane speed. A system warning flashes. The world boss is now enraged, glowing with furious red energy. A confident smile plays on Lin Yuan's lips as he firmly plants his hand on the ground. He unleashes his power, and a swirling maelstrom of green energy erupts from the earth. A massive chain structure bursts from the ground as he commands it to rise. The colossal Hell's Gate towers over the battlefield, dwarfing the enraged giant death wolf. With a determined look, Lin Yuan commands his army of death to attack. The gate opens, unleashing his entire horde of ghost wolf zombies. The onlookers stare in shock, recognizing the zombified desert ghost wolves and questioning how he created an army of them. He muses that his leveling on the way here was worth it, as it increased his Hell's Gate capacity. The game's aggro mechanics are explained. The boss targets the stronger summoner, ignoring his minions. The giant death wolf rushes past the zombie horde, its eyes fixed solely on Lin Yuan. A ghost wolf zombie lunges from the ground, ready to intercept. The zombie minion bravely clashes with the massive world boss, diverting its attack. Lin Yuan reveals his plan. exploit the aggro system to draw the boss in, and then intercept its attack. With the boss distracted, Lin Yuan dashes in, striking it with a flurry of swift, blue-glowing slashes. Roar, a zombie wolf lets out a spectral cry. The giant death wolf howls in pain as the zombie pack relentlessly swarms it. He explains his strategy of using his summons to constantly pull aggro away from himself. Confident in his numbers, he declares that even small amounts of damage from his zombie horde will fell the beast. The boss's health won't last long under the unending assault of his undead army. The scene transitions, marking the passage of time in the intense battle. The other adventurers watch in awe, stunned that he is actually defeating a Lord-rank world boss. Hee. Nearby, a trio of shady players watches the battle with greedy smirks. A few minutes later, Lin Yuan continues the fight as the boss's HP drops to 500. Mighty Wolf crushes the smaller zombie minions in its jaws, but the horde is relentless. Whoosh, Lin Yuan lands a massive critical hit, and the boss's health bar plummets to just 80 HP. The grievously wounded wolf stumbles alone in the vast, empty desert. Thump, the colossal beast finally crashes to the ground in defeat. Lin Yuan stands over his fallen foe, its health a mere 10 points from oblivion. His expression is cold and focused as he prepares to deliver the final blow. Suddenly, the shady players charge, shouting that with his army gone, they'll kill him and steal the boss's treasure. Lin Yuan's eyes narrow as he senses the opportunistic attack from behind. The friendly adventurer from earlier shouts a desperate warning for the young man to watch out. Lin Yuan turns to face his new foes, his red eyes glowing ominously. With a single, fluid arc of his blade, he effortlessly cuts down 2 of the bandits. His bloodied sword flashes again, dispatching the third attacker without a second thought. Standing over their bodies, he coldly tells them not to overestimate themselves. The onlookers are dumbfounded, realizing he just insta-killed 3 level 3 bandits in one move. His back to the defeated players, Lin Yuan turns his attention back to the barely living world boss. He raises his sword, its blade alight with green energy, for the finishing blow. Slash! With a final, decisive strike, his blade glows as it lands a critical hit on the massive wolf. Standing over the slain world boss, Lin Yuan wonders what rewards he'll get for this first-in-the-game kill. He receives a soul gem, a rare item for exchanging legendary equipment, and realizes its immense future value. A system screen details Immortal's equipment ranking system, spanning from blank to the coveted mythical tier. While powerful weapons are displayed, the narration notes that new players are lucky to even find black iron equipment. He recalls using his past knowledge to get a bronze-rank black lizard robe just 2 hours ago, a feat that already pales in comparison to his current power. A notification confirms he is the first player to kill a world boss, granting him the powerful hunter title, which boosts all his damage. Another reward pops up, a silver chest, a welcome and surprising prize for his victory. The chest contains a massive haul, a silver sword, a silver accessory, potions, a skill scroll, and a valuable monster essence. Reviewing his new inventory, he marvels at the generous harvest from the game's first world boss. As his EXP is calculated, Lin Yuan levels up to 4, his new formidable player stats now displayed. He smiles, confident that his attributes are now the strongest of any player in the gravel desert. Though his zombie wolves were destroyed, he notes that his underworld gate can now hold 40 monsters, a significant upgrade. Placing his hand on the fallen boss, Lin Yuan begins his ritual, drawing its essence out with green, tendril-like energy. Whoosh! The beast's eye flashes with a brilliant green light, signaling its reanimation. The mighty giant death wolf rises from the sands, reborn as his undead servant. Lin Yuan stands before his new, towering zombie minion, a master of the dead. The resurrected giant death wolf's powerful new stats are displayed, featuring an array of undead skills. He analyzes its skills, noting it gained the powerful Wrath of the Undead buff. In addition to its undead body, he plans to use his new zombified boss to quickly replenish the ranks of his army in the Underworld Gate. The terrified onlookers realize he turned the world boss into a zombie, calling him scarier than the monster itself as Lin Yuan notices their presence. He acknowledges the onlookers are still there, then glances at the useless black iron sword dropped by the bandits he killed. The other adventurers panic as Lin Yuan approaches, fearing he will kill them and take their equipment. Lin Yuan confronts the blonde adventurer, asking if he was the one who shouted a warning to him earlier. He offers the bandit's black iron sword to the stunned adventurer, telling him to take it. He walks away, telling the adventurer that the sword might be of use as a thank you. The adventurer's friends are in disbelief, shocked that he would give away such a valuable black iron sword. 10 minutes later, Lin Yuan walks alone through the desolate desert sands. He senses a strange feeling as blue lightning crackles around him before the world fades to black. He removes his VR helmet, logging out of the game. Back in his room, he realizes his headset's low battery forced him out of the game. Setting the headset down, he resolves to quickly earn money and buy a proper, long-lasting game pod. He looks at his monitor, the Immortal World logo glowing on the screen. A game overview explains that Immortal World is a hyper-realistic VR game with servers separated by country. It further explains that each login area contains 4 different kingdoms, including the West Desert Ancient Country and the Southern Empire. A 4th kingdom, the majestic Tidal Island, is also shown as a starting option. Back in the game's character creation, a system prompt asks him to choose a birthplace, and he decides to make the same choice as his previous life. The menu of choices reflects over his new character's form. He confidently selects the West Desert Ancient Country as his starting point. His hand moves forward, confirming his choice with a touch. Suddenly, a painful vision of a fiery red eye and a catastrophic invasion overwhelms him. Flashes of chaos and destruction fill his mind as terrified players scream for help. He sees himself in his past life, crushed under rubble, hopelessly begging to be saved. His eye widens in shock as the traumatic memory resurfaces. The vision ends on a cloaked figure walking toward a great, swirling red abyss, flanked by angelic beings. A title card for Chapter 6 appears, showcasing Lin Yuan with his powerful undead minions. An unknown observer spots an emblem on a cloaked figure, identifying it as the yellow sapphire of the ancient Western Desert Kingdoms Guild. The voice wonders in disbelief if the first follower of the demonic Star Sovereign was. The emblem of the guild gleams with a golden light. A human player, as the cloaked figure stands before a terrifying, enthroned demonic entity. Lin Yuan recalls that the evil sovereign's first follower was the key to the catastrophe, realizing he has 3 years to stop them and prevent the tragedy. The mysterious golden emblem, his only clue to the enemy's identity, glows in his memory. He deduces the emblem belongs to a Western Desert Guild, realizing he must level up to enter their city and unmask the traitor. Shing, a glowing blue card, materializes in his hand, displaying the image of a skeletal warrior. Surrounded by swirling green energy, he stares in disbelief, questioning if he actually summoned the skeleton card. He crushes the card, explaining that certain players can bring their in-game powers into reality. They are called the Chosen, each possessing a powerful hidden profession and extremely high luck. These Chosen are destined to be the main force against the evil sovereign. But Lin Yuan realizes he has gained his powers far earlier than in his past life. He smiles, wondering how his newfound power compares to that of the fated Chosen. Clatter! He is suddenly startled by a sound from outside his door. Realizing it's dinner time, he heads for the door as his mother, Lin, asks his father what is going on with Yuan. He happily presents a feast he prepared, telling his stunned parents to come and eat. His father urges his mother to eat, seeing this as a rare, kind gesture, while Lin Yuan reflects on the pain of loss and the desire to make amends. He remembers his parents' past arguments, his father's worry over his gaming addiction, and his mother's fear of his anger. The memory of the disaster returns, his parents dead amidst the rubble, and he recalls the painful realization of his foolishness. A single tear escapes his eye, a testament to the profound regret that haunts him. Back in the present, his mother asks if his sister, Tan Tan, will be home for dinner. His mother explains Tan Tan is studying for a mock exam and asks him to deliver her a freshly prepared meal. His parents happily eat, surprised by his cooking skills, but his father suddenly stops, noticing something amiss. Lin Yuan promises his father that he will learn to cook even more dishes for them in the future. Surprised, his parents stare at him, taken aback by his newfound maturity and kindness. His mother wipes a tear from her eye, moved by his change, while his father smiles warmly. Later, the scene shifts to a dark, quiet forest at night. A determined silhouette sprints through the moonlit woods. He continues his strenuous run, pushing himself down a long flight of stairs. He relentlessly trains, realizing he must forge a strong body to handle the immense power he now wields in reality. The world seems to spin as he pushes his physical limits under the open sky. His training run continues along a winding park path. He finally stops, exhausted and sweating, but his eyes still burn with resolve. Beep, beep! He checks his watch, clocking his sprint time, and noting he still has a long way to go. With a determined look, he decides it's time to head back. The new chapter begins, showcasing Lin Yuan as the formidable Lord of Summoning. A vortex of blue energy pulls him back into the game world. A system message confirms his arrival in the gravel desert as he stands ready for action. Goo! The desert sands begin to tremble and shift violently. Monstrous creature erupts from beneath the dunes with incredible speed. Unfazed, he looks up as a flock of monstrous birds descends upon him. He remains perfectly still, awaiting the creature's attack with cold calculation. A wailing bird lets out a piercing screech as it lunges forward. As the bird's stats appear, his blade flashes in a deadly arc. With the threat dispatched, a notification confirms he's killed 3 birds and gained experience. He scoffs, disappointed by the meager 15 experience points gained from the fight. A spectral eagle soars over the canyon, its form glowing with green energy. The bait lands, revealing a massive horde of red-eyed desert ghost wolves lying in wait. From his hiding spot, he notes that his bait has successfully drawn out a huge pack of ghost wolves. He watches as the relentless pack charges across the desert landscape. He consumes the monster essence, instantly boosting all of his abilities. His eyes glowing with power, he decides to seize the opportunity before him. As the wolf pack lunges, he declares it's time to continue his warm-up. With a single, precise slash, he effortlessly fells the first wolf. A desert ghost wolf lunges, only to be met by a blinding flash of his sword. With glowing eyes and a steady hand, he prepares for the next wave of attacks. Shing, as 2 more wolves fall, a notification confirms 4 kills. Swish. He whirls through the pack, his blade a blur of motion. Swish, he cuts down another creature, bringing his kill count to 10 desert ghost wolves. The remaining wolves hesitate, surprised by his relentless and overwhelming power. A strange sigil suddenly glows on the ground, halting the pack in its tracks. The ghost wolves stare at the glowing symbol, their advance completely stopped. Believing they have finally arrived, he grips his sword, ready for the real fight. Swish! He unleashes a devastating cross slash, carving through multiple wolves at once. The powerful arc of his attack rips through the monstrous horde. Swish! He continues his brutal assault, felling another wolf with ease. A system notification confirms he has successfully killed 20 desert ghost wolves. Another notification appears, marking his 30th kill as the slaughter continues. A wolf howls in agony as it's impaled by a spike of energy from below. Swish. He lands after another fluid attack, surrounded by the carnage. With 40 wolves defeated, a notification joyfully announces he has leveled up to level 5. The massive, chained gateway to the underworld materializes, glowing with green energy. He observes with satisfaction that his netherworld gate is once again filled with undead monsters. His new level 5 stats are displayed, showcasing his impressive power and fully stocked netherworld gate. He reflects that with his increased attributes, he can now easily take on elite monsters of the same level. Standing atop a cliff overlooking a desert city, he resolves that it's time to find that person. Chapter 8 begins, titled Lord of Summoning. When the world changes. He arrives at the bustling streets of a large desert town. He walks through the crowded town, his cloaked figure drawing some attention. He stops purposefully before a wooden door, his objective clear in his mind. Creak. He slowly pushes open the door to a dimly lit room. Inside, a bearded man named Kanzi, the mage's instructor, asks who is there. Lin Yuan approaches and respectfully informs Instructor Kanzi that he has come to learn skills. The game's mechanics are explained. Skills are usually found in chests or dropped by monsters. However, a small number of skills can also be learned from special NPC instructors. Lin Yuan remembers that Kanzi was his instructor in his previous life, while Kanzi daydreams about the money for drinks. Though he was a mage before, he knows little about his new Soul Reaper class, but understands it relies on magic. He asks Kanzi to teach him 3 basic mage skills to complement his current abilities: Spirit Flame, Healing, and Concealment. Burp. Kanzi dismisses him with a wave, casually stating that anything is possible with money. Kanzi channels a ball of magical energy, telling the young man to do his best for the glory of mages. A notification confirms he has learned the Spirit Flame and Art of Healing skills, displaying their stats. The system displays the stats for his 3rd new skill, the Art of Concealment. He analyzes his new abilities, realizing they are simple but will require more resources to upgrade. With his new skills acquired, he resolves to continue leveling up. He arrives at Black Sand Mountain and discovers the Kobold Mine. A system window explains that kobolds are level 5 monsters who prefer ambushes and live in large groups. He determines that the high number of level 5 kobolds makes them the perfect target for leveling his undead army. He drinks a night vision potion, giving him sight in the dark mine for 30 minutes. He plans to use the kobolds to master his new skills while searching for treasure. He ventures into the dark cave, flanked by his formidable undead wolves. Holding a torch, he orders his minions to advance and clear the path ahead. Rustle. A sound from the darkness signals they are no longer alone. He leads his spectral army deeper into the winding, cavernous slopes. 2 snarling kobolds with glowing eyes emerge from the darkness, ready to pounce. With his torch held high, he stands ready with his spectral wolves as more kobolds lurk in the shadows. On high alert, his eyes scan the darkness, sensing the approaching enemies. Whoosh! He hurls his flaming torch into the cavern's depths to expose the hidden threat. The torch illuminates a massive staircase, revealing the full scale of the mine. The torchlight reveals a horde of snarling, red-eyed kobolds eager for a fight. A system window displays the stats for a common kobold miner, a level 5 monster. A ferocious kobold miner roars as the system announces their arrival. Chapter 9 begins, titled Lord of Summoning, When the World Changes. The story continues under the epic banner of Lord of Summoning. Crash. The torch lands, igniting the ground and revealing the enemy's position. He unleashes his undead wolves, ordering them to kill every last kobold. A kobold ambushes him from above, swinging its heavy pickaxe. The furious kobold lets out a mighty roar as it brings its weapon down. His undead wolves tear through the front line, and a notification confirms 2 kobold kills. A kobold smash skill barely damages an undead wolf, proving their resilience. Swish Lin Yuan enters the fray, his glowing sword cleaving a kobold in 2. With 8 kobolds killed, he notes their weak combat power but warns himself to dodge their shovels. He fluidly weaves through a storm of swinging pickaxes from the enraged kobolds. A kobold swings its pickaxe with ferocious intent, aiming to crush him. His blade flashes, cutting down the attacking kobold in a spray of blood. The slaughter continues as a notification confirms he has killed 20 kobold mineworkers. He stands victorious atop a pile of his fallen enemies. He smiles as his art of vanishing gains experience, pleased with the progress. Finding the kobolds too weak for efficient leveling, he begins converting their corpses into a new undead army. A system window confirms the creation of undead kobold mineworkers, displaying their stats. He commands his new undead kobolds to advance while he hunts for the mine's leader. With his new, more powerful minions, he ventures deeper into the cavern. He suddenly stops, sensing a change in the cavern ahead. The path ahead is lined with strange, jagged, crystalline formations. Shh. With a smirk and a ball of green energy, he triumphantly declares, "Found you." Whoosh. He unleashes a blast of energy, instantly killing 2 mud slimes and gaining experience. He cautiously proceeds as a pair of glowing red eyes watch him from the darkness. Roar. A massive kobold leader, wielding a spiked metal whip, reveals itself. Unfazed, Lin Yuan stands ready with his undead army, prepared to face the boss. He reflects that every predator is destined to become prey as a memory of a wolf eating a bird surfaces. A massive blue snake looms over a cowering wolf, proving nature's unforgiving cycle. He knows that absolute danger lurks around every corner, waiting for the slightest mistake. Bam! A brutal clash erupts in the darkness. The kobold leader charges furiously from the dust, ready for battle. The scene shifts, revealing a beautiful, white-haired woman meditating among glowing blue crystals. Chapter 10 of Lord of Summoning. When the World Changes begins. A massive snake devours a wolf as Lin Yuan realizes this is the moment for the hunter to become the hunted. He calmly catches the kobold leader's massive spiked weapon with one hand. Gripping the weapon tightly, he declares, "Gotcha." The kobold leader stares in disbelief as Lin Yuan effortlessly halts its powerful attack. With a single, fluid motion, he twists the weapon back at its wielder. The kobold leader's arms are caught and crushed by his overwhelming power. Crystalline shards erupt from the ground, trapping and impaling the monstrous leader. Trapped and wounded, the kobold leader lets out an enraged, defiant roar. It stares in utter shock, unable to comprehend its sudden defeat. With a smirk and a glowing hand, Lin Yuan prepares to absorb the essence of his defeated foe. He stands victorious over the fallen kobold supervisor, his blade poised after the final blow. Crackle. A system notification confirms the kobold supervisor has been slain. Grr. His eyes glow red as he senses a new, larger threat emerging from the darkness. Grr. Deep within the cavern, he stands alone as the growls of the approaching horde echo around him. The kobold supervisor activates a skill, sending the entire horde of mineworkers into a bloodthirsty state that boosts their attack and movement speed. Grah! Facing a frenzied mob of nearly 50 kobolds, Lin Yuan remains utterly unfazed. He summons his undead wolves from a swirling vortex of green energy, telling them to get some fresh air. With a glowing sigil in his hand, he prepares to unleash his spectral wolf pack upon the kobold army. He smiles as a wolf's eye glows menacingly, declaring that the hunt has officially begun. Grah! Lin Yuan commands his massive alpha wolf, which lets out a ferocious roar. Grah! The spectral wolf pack snarls in unison, ready to tear into their enemies. Grah! The undead wolves clash with the frenzied kobolds, a whirlwind of claws and steel. An undead wolf sinks its teeth into a kobold, ending its charge with a brutal crunch. A system notification announces the activation of the demonic wolf's howl skill. The alpha wolf unleashes a terrifying howl, sending out a powerful green shockwave. The sonic blast washes over the kobold horde, leaving them stunned and vulnerable. A system notification confirms the hit, leaving the kobolds stunned and severely bleeding. With the enemy immobilized, Lin Yuan orders his spectral pack to kill them all. Ding! 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 Notifications flood in as 40 kobold supervisors are slain, and he triumphantly levels up to level 6. Lin Yuan stands amidst the fallen, absorbing the souls of the defeated to fuel his power. A system window displays the stats for his new, powerful level 6 undead kobold supervisor. A newly reanimated undead kobold supervisor snarls, its eyes glowing with green, unholy light. One by one, the fallen kobolds rise again as his new undead minions. Seeing the surviving kobolds trying to flee, he taunts them, asking if they really think they can escape. A blinding flash of light erupts as a voice dares them to face his sword's opinion first. Lin Yuan leaps forward, his blade a blur, as he cuts down the fleeing enemies. He unleashes a brilliant golden arc of sword energy, wiping out the stragglers. He looks up in surprise, sensing an immense power approaching as a golden light descends. Bam! He leaps back, just as a massive force slams into the ground before him. Grah! A colossal kobold wielding a massive hammer lets out a deafening roar. The system identifies the new level 7 kobold boss, as Lin Yuan calmly states he's been waiting.